A distinguished gentleman boards the 8:15 flight out of San Diego heading to New York. He sits in first class. He knows exactly where his little overnight bag is stored. He's got his laptop ready to work. He's greeted by the flight attendants by first name. You see, 3 times a week, he will take this flight back and forth. He is a known entity on this flight. Same seat, same setup. Work will get done on the way to New York. After a short trip there, the next morning, work will get done on the way back. It's just what he's accustomed to. He's down in his laptop pounding away, and he hasn't even noticed the next gentleman that has walked on board and gone all the way to the back. He has sat curled up and holding himself. His entire life, he has yet to fly in an airplane. He has put it off as long as he could. And yet at this point in time, there's family issues in New York. He has to return home quickly. And as much as he would love to drive, he's not afforded the time. He must fly. You can tell him all the facts in the world. You can give him all the statistics. But he sits in the back and he is scared to death. Flight attendants notice there might be something wrong with him. They ask him his name. He just admits, I know I'm scared to death. I've never flown before. They assure him it's going to be okay, but that assurance means nothing. He asks for a drink of water. The sweat starts to bead up before the plane even pulls away from the gate. And before you know it, they're rumbling down the runway. It is that takeoff. His eyes are closed, and he is visibly shaken. And it doesn't let up for the entire flight. He knows he's not going to make it. He knows he's not going to land. So when that flight pulls in to the gate of New York, which one landed first? Which one had a safer trip? Which one was more protected on that flight? The gentleman in first class who does it 3 times a week, or the guy in the back who has never flown in his life? Well, the questions are ridiculous. They both had the same flight. They both had the same protection. They both were as safe as the other one, and they both landed at the same time. And yet you ask yourself, how can it be? One had all the faith in the world, and the other had no faith. Is there an unfairness here? Not at all. And by now, you know exactly where I'm going. We're in the middle of looking at our hall of faith in the Bible. And for me, it's one of the best illustrations to remind me, Chris, it's not about your amount of faith. It's not about your size of faith. It's not about whether I believe it in all my heart or, man, I just don't know. I just don't know it all. But I think I'm going to step into it. Why? Because when it comes to faith, it's not about you. It's about what you put your faith in. That's what it's about. You can have a chair and go, I know this chair is going to hold me, and you sit down with all the faith in the world. Now, if that chair is broken and it doesn't hold you, it didn't matter if you had all the faith in the world. Your faith is in the structure of this chair. That's it. The gentleman in the first class and the gentleman in the back of the plane, their faith couldn't have been more further apart, light years apart from each other. It wasn't their faith. The moment they stepped into the plane, they simply became equal because their faith was in that plane, not in themselves. This is Christianity. This is for those of you that are just starting or those of you that are farther down the road. This is those of you that go, I trust God implicitly. I do exactly what He says. I never doubt it, never question it because I know who He is. And this is for those of you that are holding on for dear life saying, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And this doesn't make sense. But I'm just going to step on the flight. Faith is not in us. It's what we put our faith in. We pick up Hebrews 11 with that in mind because our next character, it simply says this, by faith Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. And by faith he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness that comes by faith. We don't have time to read it. You got to go back to the book of Genesis, first book in the Bible. It's a long story to read, but it's amazing. Most of us probably have heard the name Noah by now. If you didn't, God showed up and said, I'm grieved of mankind and what came of the earth. I'm going to cause a great flood, build an ark. By faith, Noah, in holy fear, did what God said because he was warned about things not yet seen. Noah had never seen a flood, had never seen rain, had never seen an ark. How do you expect me to act on this? Noah had no clue what the future held. You know what he had a clue about? The God that he stepped into. For you and I, let's stop thinking faith is something we muster up. Let's stop thinking faith is, well, if I name it and claim it and act without doubt, it's going to happen. The reason why I don't have is my faith is weak. No, your theology is weak. We can cover those verses at another time in context of what they mean. Your faith is not about what you muster up. Your faith is about who it's put in. And that's why Jesus says, you know how much faith you need to have in me? A mustard seed. You just need to step in the plane and hold on for dear life. And don't ever open the door and take yourself out of the plane. Well, because then you're on your own flight, and that doesn't end well. Congratulations, Christian. It's not about how much you believe or how little your faith is. It's who it's in. That is certainty. That is surety. That is trust. That was yesterday. This was part 2.